everyone! Can you believe that it's Christmas / New Year already? I have no idea what day I am uploading this on, so I'm going to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, just so that I fill in both. I've got my festive t-shirts, polar bear, festive earrings, festive makeup. I've got myself a little can of JD and Coke. Don't know what that was. And today I'm going to sit with you and share my favourite gig moments of 2019. So this could take a little while because I went to quite a few gigs in 2019. So hopefully I include them all with some clips and stuff so that you can see. Obviously all the vlogs are on my channel, but this is just to summarise. And yeah, so without further ado, although I should probably say that there'll also be a blog of my favourite moments of 2019, which will include like moments with friends and family and stuff, not just gigs. So if you want a little bit more, there'll be a blog. If you're not really interested, you just hear from music, then hello. Right, so basically I'm going to start with, sorry, I've got my laptop for notes just because I'll forget otherwise. Cool. I'm going to include New Year because it's the 1st of January for at least 50% of the celebration. So I reckon it kind of counts as like a gig for 2019, maybe. So for New Year, I was at the Cricketers in Wimborne watching my friend's band 27 Days. Sadly, we're not really friends anymore, but that doesn't tarnish the night. It was still a great evening. I had an amazing time, made some great memories with friends. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else at New Year than at a gig, really. My friends, especially if my friends are playing, because, you know, want to go see my friends. I'm going to be at the Anvil in Bournemouth this year, hopefully. If not, I'll probably be at Buffalo or the Jug, because I know there's some gigs going on there. But hopefully I'll be around in Bournemouth and going to some gigs, because, you know, it's New Year. I want to see gigs, especially if my friends are going to be there and be playing and stuff. So that's where you'll find me at New Year. It was a great night. I met 2 guys. One was called Andrew. I have no idea what the other one was called, but I know he's a big fan of Motley Crue. I think that's basically all we got from my drunken ramblings. So he likes Motley Crue? I don't know. Yeah, and we saw her in the New Year, very drunk, demanding 27 Days to sing Auld Lang Syne, which they didn't do. They actually cut it out to play We Will Rock You instead. So me, Andrew, and this other guy were very disappointed and just wanted Auld Lang Syne. Maybe I'll insert a clip of that part. Yeah, and we spent the rest of the night just dancing the night away to all these amazing rock songs. And yeah, I had an absolutely amazing time, and it was fabulous, darling.
Many people to the front as we can. It is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a bit gay. Now we can have all those. Stop kissing. Kissing is over now. It's time. We are there. Merry Christmas, everyone. The camera is actually going backwards. Backwards. 18, 20 seconds.
Next, I went to see Inglorious at the Engine Rooms in Southampton. I think they were supported by City of Thieves. They were really good, actually. I'd love to like work with them sometime because they were so good. Yeah, I do really love Inglorious. I think they're a fantastic band, and Nathan's vocals are out of this world. There is no denying that fact. It was a really lovely night, in all honesty. I met my dad in Southampton and we went for dinner at the oldest pub in Southampton. It's called the Red Lion. I'm not sure if it is the oldest pub in Southampton or whatever, but they have a pet parrot and it's really good food. Like, you get a massive plate of food for like really cheap prices, really affordable. Yeah, it's a really good pub. Go there if you're ever in Southampton, especially if you're going to 1865, because it's a lot closer to there, or Joiners. Like, go get yourself some food. Go and get yourself some food from the Red Lion. Yeah. Basically, but yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about the pet parrot. So yeah, and there was, I also discovered a band called City of Thieves, who are amazing, obviously, and I'll insert a clip of Nathan doing his thing, I suppose. Next I went to see Payne. I've seen this chap play live about 20 times as of last time I counted, so quite a few times. Hopefully I would have seen him some more. And he never disappoints. I've been to a fair few Payne gigs this year. However, I want to include this specific gig. I'm not too sure if it was in Poole or Hamworthy. I think it might have been further away than Poole, but I'm not sure if it was Hamworthy. I'm not too sure where it was. I didn't actually write down like the name of the pub or where it was, but it was around that area. But I ended up vlogging his entire set and making a 45-minute YouTube video out of it, because I lost all of my gig footage from 2018 because my laptop broke. And most of them were like Chris Payne gigs and like my favourite songs that he plays and stuff. So I was gutted at that point. So I literally went to this gig and just videoed the entire evening pretty much. And yeah, I love looking at that, like rewatching that video and looking back at the songs he played. Like that was a really, really, really good gig. Really good night. And like we had the perfect position. Like we were right in front of him. But I was actually feeling more festive then than I might have felt all over Christmas, in all honesty. I went with my friend Steve and we were right at the front. There was this awesome drunk guy that was doing some serious moving and grooving to like all the Queen songs and stuff. I was pretty merry because I had a couple of these. We saw Billy, he's a photographer, at the end of the evening, which was nice. We had a bit of a chat, and on the way out Chris said, "Come along then, family," when he was like loading his stuff back into his car, and I was kind of like, oh, family. So that was kind of cute. And that sort of made a shit period of my life have a little glimpse of happiness for a few hours. Still in February, we went to see Stonebreaker at the 1865 in Southampton with support from Those Damn Crows. This was actually also the last day I ever got to see my nanny Shirley. Sadly, she passed away in March, and that was the last time I got to see her. Me and my dad went up to the hospital she was in, the hospice. He cut up her dinner for her and was feeding her, and she seemed like she wasn't my nan, like she wasn't really there, but she was still there enough, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that was the last time I ever got to see her, which really sucks. I would have liked to have said goodbye properly. But yeah, that's just life, I suppose. But love my nanny. Was of course another dad and daughter day. We came back and had a quick meeting with Guy and Richard at the 1865 about Nosfest, so we got to catch a cheeky bit of the sound check. Went for dinner at the same pub as before, so we went back to the Red Lion. I think I had like a jacket potato this time, and it wasn't quite as massive. It was still like fully loaded, but I had like ham, egg and chips the last time, and my entire plate was covered in ham, egg and chips and salad. It was like this big, I won't even lie. And yeah, it was a bit more easier to manage. And then because we were able to have sprinkles for dessert, so we went over to Sprinkles. I think I had cookie dough, and I bought my dad salted caramel gelato. Stonebroaker were awesome, of course. Jack Daniels. And it was amazing to hear Rich sing Wait For You as well. It's such a lush song, and the way he sings is perfect. I think the new wave of classic rock is such an awesome community with so many awesome bands, and it's pretty much impossible to pick a favourite. Like, it really is. For me, I cannot pick a favourite new wave of classic rock band. They're all fantastic in their own way, and I hope I get to see many, many more of them in 2020.
I've waited too long. I've tried to find ways to carry on, but all of my days roll into one. I've gotta get away from here, go somewhere where the water's clear, somewhere I can clear my mind, somewhere I can spend my time. All the things I wanted to do are so much better when I'm with you. Oh, something inside of me is waiting for something new, so I'll just wait for you.
For my 23rd birthday, yeah, my birthday is the next gig I'm going to talk about. I turned 23. I'm going to be 24 next year, getting on a bit. I was lucky enough to actually have a rock night on my birthday. It was at the Heartbreakers in Southampton with Western Sand, Beth Blade and the Beautiful Disasters in 27 Days. 3 of my favourite bands, and bands who were also all of my bestest friends, so that made it extra special. I got to see Luke after not seeing him for nearly a year. Like, the last time I saw Luke was May 2018, so I hadn't seen like one of my bestest friends in the world for like nearly a year, which really sucks. I'm not entirely sure I see Luke, I've written here, or whether I just see this awesome hair that I must touch at all times. Yeah, basically when I see Luke, I just have to touch his hair. I don't think I've ever seen Luke and said hello. Let's just put it that way. I don't think I've ever gone, oh, hi Luke. I think I've just immediately just started touching his hair, and that's kind of our greeting now, so soz. He hasn't complained as of yet, but I should probably start saying, hi Luke, and giving him a hug before I just, touch the hair. If you've seen Luke's hair, you'll understand what I mean. It's better than mine. I don't know what he does to it, but it's better than mine. And I think I made him look like Mick Mars that night as well, which he looked more like a ghost or a dead person or a zombie. But he was meant to look like Mick Mars, but I did do his makeup whilst drunk and in the dark. So maybe I'll get to do it again sometime, who knows. It was also lovely to see Beth again. She's an incredible front woman, and the band were awesome. I didn't have any favourites from that night, but I think they were one of the best bands I think I've ever had play a rock night, if I'm honest. So I'll probably insert a clip of Beth and the band now.
on the refuge.
Sorry, I've got a little off balance now because my mum just come in to ask me what I wanted for dinner from the takeaway, and I've asked for chicken nuggets and chips for anybody who cares. So by this time we're now into April, and I got to see one of my favourite bands this year, like in the world, and they are Suede. Just checking that my rats aren't gonna bite me. They played at the Guildhall in Southampton, and I got to go with my family. I got to go with my dad and our cousins Ian and Lawrence and Ian's wife Hideko. It was so fucking good. I tried some gin that night, so it was a bit giddy. And I was happy watching the gig from afar, just because, you know, Suede are... They're a great band, but, like, the front people are very into it. So, like, if you step back a bit, you're like, you don't die and stuff. And I'm quite small, so sometimes I have to take a step back and just enjoy things from a distance. And I was happy to do that. We also went for dinner at, like, this little... I don't know if it's Thai. I don't think it was Thai. It's, like, a tapas place, like, opposite Turtle Bay in Southampton. It was really good. I kind of want to go back there just because it was, like, really good stuff. We probably should have ordered more or different things, but like we chose a dish each and then just shared it. So we weren't really full or anything, but we had like, I don't know what they're called, but like it's like battered vegetables and stuff, and it was really nice. And Hideki had the squid, and yeah, it was just really nice food. So maybe I'll go back there. That'd be quite nice. I love Brett Anderson so much. Me and Ian's wife were pretty smitten after the gig, being like, oh my god, Brett Anderson, he's so perfect. So that was quite funny. Suede were a huge part of my growing up. They were pretty much all I listened to when I was 15/16, whilst I was in my grungy alternative indie phase. And I actually saw the drummer just casually walking around before the gig as well, which I never expected. I'm surprised more people didn't notice as well, because he was just casually walking around.
The police car on fire.
Marco made his return to the South Coast at the Anvil in May. Marco always puts on a good show, and it's always great to catch up with him as well. There wasn't many people there as when I put on the show previously, but it was still pretty hot and sweaty night, and everyone had a great time. I even got Marco to promote my Nosfest really quickly in a video, which was so cool. Before the gig, me and my friend Cardi went to Weatherspoons and filled up on their cocktail pitchers. We basically, I think we bought just 2 pitchers each, like we chose one each, and such a great idea. We had one that basically tasted like cola bottles, and then we had one that tasted like fucking unicorn or whatever the hell it was. I say it tastes like blended fairies or Ronnie Wood, but it tasted absolutely fantastic. Totally recommend it. I think it's called Bubble Gin. Try that, it's so good. It's got glitter in it and everything. And I finished the evening off by getting distracted in a noodle bar whilst out of my mind on JD. Like, I think I had so many of these that I was away with the fairies and having a fantastic time. I went to the noodle bar next door to get some food on the way home and ended up bumping into this guy called Connell or something, and he was basically recommending, I was a vegan at the time, but it was like, you should try the chicken one, and I was like, I don't give a shit, I'll just eat it anyway. It was really good, and he just spent like probably about 10 minutes just watching me eat this noodle pot thing before I eventually like ran away, but it was good. And I now really like that noodle bar, so thanks for the recommendation, whoever you were. Yes, and I had an awesome little boogie at the Buffalo Bar with my newfound friends afterwards, which was super cool. So yeah, here's a clip from that night.
I wanted to say hello and thank you. We're here in Bournemouth. We just played at the Airborne. Great gig, right?
Yes, it was amazing.
And we're here with Jodie, who's organizing this festival right here. And that's going to be August 10th.
August 10th at the 1865 in Southampton.
I'm playing there. We have quite a few friends. Massive Wagons, Beth Blade and friends, which we know. And who else?
And Stop Stop, Outlaw Orchestra, 27 Days, Those Damn Crows, and of course Marco Mendes.
We're going to be there. We're going to have fun. And with Kyle. So please, write it on your, get a ticket, write it on your calendar. We're going to have a blast. Don't miss it. Southampton.
Yes.
August 10th. Ciao. Thank you.
Bye. I then had my first ever Welsh Rock night and my last ever, because I'm not doing rock nights anymore. Sorry, need to burp. Sorry, lost my train of thought. I'm getting messages. I managed to expand my little gigs. Yeah, I basically managed to branch out of Southampton. Yes. That night generally did so well as well. Like, I wasn't expecting it to do that well because we didn't sell that many in advance, but so many people came on the door, which made it fantastic. So thank you to whoever came on the door and brought the more expensive price. Like, thank you. You made the evening. Like, cheers, guys. I believe I had Scarlet Rebels, Beth Blade, and Black Shoe Vultures playing. I actually travelled there with Jono and Nick. It was quite a lovely trip up to Wales, to be honest. I hadn't been there since the previous year, 2018, in June, maybe. So I went to see the Stones play there at the stadium. I'm not going to say what the stadium is in case I get it wrong and all the Welsh people are like, you got it wrong. But the big stadium. I went to see them play there with my friend Josie. They were fantastic. I cried, but we're not going to talk about last year. But that was like the last time I think I went up to Cardiff. I really need to go back to Cardiff. Like, all my fucking friends were up there and I'm never there. Like, I need to go to Cardiff, man. So maybe 2020, maybe for my birthday, I'll go up to the land of Wales again and catch up with everyone. I've put that I love that place and it will always hold a special place in my heart. It does. I love Wales. I got to catch up with Luke again and we had the best time ever. Like, went to co-op. I know that sounds like you went to co-op, really. I'm like, yeah, we went to co-op, but like the conversation we were having was like so good, and it was just so good to see my friend again and spend time with Luke and chat about shit I've been going through in person. And yeah, it's a shame I don't get to see Luke more often. I even got to see one of my ex's friends. Yes, I got to see, I think his name's Bob. If you watch this, my ex, this is, let me know what he's called. Yeah, he I saw him at the bar and I was a bit like, oh shit, this is going to be a bit awkward. Does he know that I've put on the night? But he came up to me and was like, oh, I thought I'd come down to support you. And then he gave me like this little Stones wristband thing. And oh, it was just really lovely. I was just like, oh, I'm not hated. So yeah, that was really nice. It was unexpected and lovely. And it's just nice to know there's no bad feelings or awkwardness. And cool that they came down to support the night anyway. And I think I also got to see Sam he was in Foreigner's Son. He's not in it anymore. But Sam, he came down and he's really cool, man.
Oh,
Okay, this is where it might take a little while because now we've reached the big day, which is Nosburst, and oh my god, where do I start with this? It's going to be so hard to try and show the highlights of this one. I really wish I could put into words exactly how I felt during this day, but in all honesty, it was all kind of a blur. Like, genuinely, I don't really know what happened, but there's footage. It's an 1.5-hour long vlog. You can watch that and see for yourself what happened. It went so well. There was no issues at all. I was just floating through the day thinking, this is my dream and it's coming true. What the fuck? Again, I want to say a huge thank you to the Jackals for getting there at 10 a.m. in the morning and helping with the setup. I totally don't expect my bands to really lift a finger to help me, but they wanted to, and it was awesome to have them there right from the very beginning and to watch it sort of set off and flourish. And I think we'll always share like a special memory of that just between us 5, because they were there at the beginning and just saw it grow, which was amazing. James helped to set up the backline and got the drum kit all together to sound check. Lex sorted out all the passes for me. I made a bit of a mess of them and just chucked them on a chair to sort out later. And he came along, sorted them all out into like neat little sections so bands could find their own. And I really appreciate, thanks man. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. Yeah, it was just great. Also, when I started to vlog the day, Ollie came up behind me and made me jump whilst I was hanging over the balcony. So I nearly died before the doors even opened, which is, like, could have been interesting. To be fair, I probably shouldn't have been casually hanging over the balcony with my camera. But he basically came up behind me and went, and I was like, but I got it just as I, like, stopped, like, filming. And he was like, fuck, I wanted to get it on camera. I was like, I nearly went over. You're going to have to catch me, like. But, yeah, that was funny. I got lots of compliments about Cy Gennaro's great hosting skills. So he'll be back next year, for anyone that wants to know. Marco was on time. He was actually turned up so early that he tried to check into his hotel at 9 a.m. and basically got told to go away. So in my whole time like working with Marco, I've never had him like be on time. So he turned up so early. Like, I think he got to 1865 at about 1 o'clock, like just as doors opened. And I was like, mate, your set's not till like 5 or 6 or 7. You're like, yeah, I know, man. Like, I just tried to check into my hotel and they told me to go away. And I was just like, I'm not surprised, man. But it was so good to have him there early. Like, we had to like rush around trying to pick up his merchandise because he's like, doesn't, you know, he travels very light basically when he's on tour, so he basically sent all merch that he wanted to sell at Nosfest and throughout the rest of the tour to my house. So yeah, that was that was interesting. Where did I get to? Sorry. He gave a sweet little shout out to my dad on stage as well, which was lovely. My dad actually missed it, but I heard it. Sorry, somebody's pulling on me. Who is it? Billy's putting on my jumper at the bottom. He misses me, he loves me, we're together. I'm joking. The lineup was so good. I am more than proud of myself for being able to pull it off. Of course, my beautiful Stop boys were also there, and that went down a treat with the audience. Jacob kept giving me so many hugs throughout the day, and pretty much every time I saw him I got a hug, which was so lovely. They were so supportive and encouraging of me all day. I've kind of grown up with these guys. They played my 21st birthday, so to have them be on my first ever festival had to be done. The night just kept getting better and better, going from one level to another with each band. It was out of this world, and it went exactly how I wanted it to go and how I'd imagined it. And then I obviously had a bit of a cry when Massive Wagons came on, and Luke actually got a really sweet picture of me and my dad having a cuddle and a cry just before like the woman tapped me on the shoulder and was like, here's a tissue, which is like really sweet. And did I mention that it's sold out
tonight? Give it up for Nosfest and Jodie for Nosfest! Hey, it's the first festival of many! But we're not gonna fuck about now. We're gonna play some songs off our first record, Murder in the Mummy. Just a story, but no one ever told me. I said that I had never been something. One step closer than I have ever been. I think I'm getting cold sweat, and I'm starting to lose my shit. Don't you know what's wrong? See.
One more time. Massive Wagons. Thank you guys. What a set. What a show. What an afternoon. Who's coming next year? I've heard we have booked the bands. Will you be here? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your all support. And safe journey home. And we'll see you all next year. Thank you.
try and show you my fucking rat. Who is that? Billy? Keeps pulling on my jumper. Bless him. Right, I should probably continue with it. Get off! Billy, let go. God's sake. Sorry. It's quite a bit later on in the year now. I'm not even in frickin' focus. And we went to see the Struts, which was frickin' phenomenal. I'm gonna try to stay in focus. This is like probably one of my favourite gigs of the year. Luke Spiller was absolutely phenomenal. He is like a JodieBowie, Mercury Bolan Prince hybrid. He's like all the best frontmen just sort of like squished into one person, and it comes out as Luke Spiller. He's fantastic. Was a very joyful gig. My dad loved it as well, which was quite a surprise. I didn't expect him to be as into it as he was, but he really liked it. He has basically said the same as me, like, he reminds me a lot of Mark Bolan, and that's one of his favourites, so probably why he liked him. Just really was such a fantastic night, and I definitely recommend to everyone to go and see the Struts live at some point in your lives, or you are missing out.
Don't ever stop it, don't ever stop till you win. She lies, getting no sleep till she dies. Taking my body, taking the earth is quaking the ground. What a sound, come on. Oh, are you ready? Are you ready? I'll tell you why she's got money. Daddy, sexy money. My heartstrings money.
And the last gig of the year I want to talk about is Airborne. I went to see Airborne play at the Guildhall in Southampton with my dad. We went to GBK beforehand and had like this Christmas burger, which was alright. I mean, it would have been the same thing from McDonald's for half the price, but it was alright. But they were fantastic, and they blew my mind. They blew the roof off the place. It was so good. It wasn't really my dad's cup of tea, which I kind of expected. I told him that he's it's going to be very loud. Very loud and very like... So he was kind of expecting it. I don't think he quite expected that. But I thought, personally, that the whole experience was just absolutely amazing. There were several mosh pits, beer bombs, you name it. It was all going down. It was basically just sheer rock and roll. I think it came around the time that I needed a night out like that as well. So I was proper amped and excited and just couldn't wait to be singing away at the top of my lungs. I wish I could go back and just live in that moment for the rest of the year, really. Yeah, that pretty much concludes my best gigs of 2019. I hope that you have enjoyed it, maybe discovered some new bands, maybe had a giggle, I don't know. I just hope that you've had a good time. As I said, I'm not sure when this video is going up, but Merry Christmas if it is before Christmas. I hope you have all the presents that you wanted, and I hope Santa's been great to you. If it is New Year, I hope you have an amazing New Year and get wasted and see the New Year in with a kiss. And yeah, I'll see you all guys very soon. And if you want to know what my best moments of 2019 is, there is a blog linked in the description. So, see you guys soon. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Love you loads.